You ever look at someone and think, how are they always ahead? They're not smarter than you. They're not richer. They don't even work harder. And yet, somehow, they spot opportunities you never saw. They move before you even realize there was a game being played. By the time you finally understand what happened, they're already 3 levels above you, smiling from the top while everyone else is still trying to catch up. So, what do they know that you don't? Here's the brutal truth. The difference between the powerless and the powerful is not money, strength, or talent. It's knowledge. Not school knowledge. Not be a good person and work hard knowledge. I'm talking about the real operating system of the world. The invisible laws of power. Most people think success is about being kind, working hard, and hoping someone notices. They play fair, they play nice, they wait, and that's exactly why they lose. Because while you're following the rules you were taught, someone else is following the rules no one ever told you exist. They're not playing a nice game. They're playing a strategic one. Power doesn't start in your bank account or your muscles. Power starts in your mind. The people you call geniuses understand something that most people never understand in their entire lives. The world is not random. People are not random. Power is not random. The world runs on patterns, psychological patterns that have been repeated for thousands of years. The people who study these patterns become leaders. The people who ignore them become pieces on someone else's board. Most people play fair. Geniuses don't. They don't have to cheat. They simply play by rules that others are too innocent or too afraid to accept. I'm not telling you to become heartless. I'm telling you this. If you don't understand these laws, someone who does will use them on you. You'll call it bad luck. You'll call it unfair. You'll say, why does this always happen to me? When, in reality, you just never saw the game. About 500 years ago, Niccolo Machiavelli sat down and studied power like a scientist. He watched how rulers rose and fell, how the strong stayed strong and how the weak stayed weak. And he realized something terrifying. Power follows laws, and the ones who know those laws control everyone else. Today, we're going to walk through 8 of the darkest laws geniuses use to outsmart everyone. These are not motivational quotes. These are not feel-good ideas. These are cold, calculated strategies used by people who refuse to lose. Once you see them, you can't unsee them. Once you understand them, the world will never look the same again. So, don't skip around. Don't half listen. Missing even one of these laws can be the difference between staying stuck and finally breaking through. Before we dive in, I want you to anchor one idea in your mind. Type this in the comments and claim it. I control my power. Now let's start. Law 1. Create value through absence. Let me ask you something. Who gets more respect? The person who's always around, or the person who seems to appear only when it matters? Who feels more powerful to you? The one who's constantly texting, always available, always there, or the one who sometimes disappears and makes you wonder where they went? Here's a law most people learn too late. Constant presence kills respect. Think about it. When you're always accessible, always responding instantly, always saying yes, what happens? People stop appreciating you. They stop valuing your time. Your presence becomes background noise, like a song that's been playing for too long. You go from rare to replaceable. But the moment you pull back even slightly, everything changes. The calls slow down. The texts feel different. People start asking, "Hey, where have you been?" Suddenly, the same presence they took for granted starts to feel important. You didn't become smarter. You didn't become more talented. You simply became scarce. Geniuses understand this instinctively. They know that availability destroys power. The more present you are, the less special you become. It's not about ghosting everyone or becoming cold for no reason. It's about understanding this simple principle. Scarcity creates value. Gold is valuable because it's rare. VIP seats are valuable because there aren't many of them, and your presence is no different. If you give it to everyone, all the time, it stops meaning anything. Look at the people who command real respect in your life. They are not the ones responding in 2 seconds to every message. They're not at every event, in every group chat, on every call. They're selective. They show up when it matters and vanish when it doesn't. Machiavelli would tell you, make yourself necessary, but never common. If you're always there, people assume you'll always be there. And once they believe that, they stop treating you as a priority and start treating you as a default. So, what happens when you master this law? People stop treating you like an option. They start respecting your time. They start wondering what you're doing when you're not around. They start competing for your attention instead of assuming they already have it. But most people do the opposite. They chase. They overextend. They show up uninvited. They text too much. They talk too long. All in the name of staying close or showing they care. But in the process, they become forgettable. You don't build power by being everywhere. You build power by being somewhere important. So here's what you need to do. Pull back, not from everyone, not from everything, just from the places, people, and situations where your presence is abused, not appreciated. Stop being instantly available. Stop replying the second your phone lights up. Stop giving endless time to people who wouldn't notice if you suddenly stopped. Let them wonder, let them feel the gap. Let them realize that your presence was doing more for them than they knew. You're not cutting people off. You're protecting your presence. You're shifting from always there to there with intention. Be the person people look forward to seeing, not the person they assume will always pick up. The weak cling. The powerful withdraw strategically. Master this law, and watch how quickly the energy shifts. Watch how people talk to you differently, how they approach you differently, how they're suddenly more careful with your time. Why? Because you finally stopped giving it away for free. Drop this in the comments to lock it in. My absence creates value. In the next part, we'll go even deeper into the law that flips the entire dynamic of chasing and shows you how to make everything move toward you instead. Law 2. Make others come to you. Let's be brutally honest for a moment. Every time you chase, you lose. You've seen it happen 100 times. Someone wants attention, so they chase. Someone wants approval, so they chase. Someone wants a connection, a deal, a partnership. You guessed it. They chase. And what happens? The harder they chase, the further everything gets. Meanwhile, there's always someone else who barely moves. And somehow everything comes straight to them. Why? Because they understand this simple truth. The one who chases is never in control. Chasing puts you in the position of wanting, needing, hoping. And the moment you need something, you lose power. Desperation is the opposite of strength. But the person who positions themselves as the prize, they don't chase, they attract. They sit still and watch opportunities move toward them. People come to them. Respect flows to them. Attention naturally gravitates toward them. This is how geniuses play the game. They don't run after chances. They create situations where chances run after them. Let me ask you something. Think about the people you've chased in your life. Did they respect you more or less? Now flip it. Think about the people who chased you. Remember the feeling? Exactly. The power was obvious. Machiavelli said, "The one who adapts his policy to the times prospers." Meaning, stop forcing, start positioning. This isn't arrogance. This is strategy. Making others come to you is about becoming valuable. So valuable that people choose to move in your direction. Instead of running after everyone, hoping someone will choose you, you build yourself into someone who gets chosen automatically. You create results that speak louder than any pitch. You develop skills people recognize instantly. You produce value that makes people curious, drawn in, intrigued. Here's how you do it in real life. 1. Stop broadcasting your needs. Needy energy repels everything: people, opportunities, relationships, business. 2. Create something worth noticing. When you produce real value, people gravitate to you naturally. 3. Use bait strategically. Your bait can be a skill, a message, a result, a story, something that pulls people toward you without you running after them. Think of it this way. The weak knock on every door. The powerful create doors other people want to walk through. Stop chasing people who don't chase you back. Stop begging for things that require you to shrink. Stop putting yourself in positions where you're the one doing all the pulling. Instead, sharpen your value. Improve your craft. Build something impressive. Let curiosity do the heavy lifting. When people come to you, the entire equation flips. You control the pace. You set the boundaries. You decide who gets access. That is power. Not control through aggression, control through attraction. Drop this affirmation in the comments to anchor it. They come to me. Law 3. Court attention at all costs. Now let's talk about something uncomfortable but true. If people don't notice you, you don't exist. You can be brilliant. You can be talented. You can work harder than everyone in the room. But if nobody sees it, it doesn't matter. Attention is the currency of modern life. In business, relationships, opportunities, everything flows to the visible. Most people blend in. They stay quiet, play it safe, try not to attract too much attention. And then they wonder why they get passed over, ignored, forgotten. Here's the reality. You can't be respected if you're invisible. You can't be remembered if you disappear into the background. You can't win if nobody knows you're in the game. Geniuses understand this. Attention isn't vanity, it's survival. If you're not on people's minds, you're not in their plans. If they don't see you, they won't choose you. If they never hear your voice, they won't know your value. That's why some people with half your talent get twice your opportunities. They're not better, they're seen. Machiavelli said, "Men judge more by the eye than by the hand." Meaning, people believe what they see, not what you quietly do behind the scenes. And that's why attention matters. Now, let's be clear. Courting attention doesn't mean acting wild, being obnoxious, or trying to shock people for no reason. That's desperation. Strategic attention is different. It's about being unforgettable, not chaotic. It's about being visible, not loud. It's about being distinct, not dramatic. Here's how you get attention the right way. 1. Do something worth noticing. Value gets attention faster than noise. 2. Show up differently. If everyone in your niche looks or sounds the same, be the one who breaks the pattern. 3. Be bold enough to be seen, not reckless bold. 4. Let your presence speak before your words do. People make judgments in seconds. Use that to your advantage. Power flows to those who refuse to be forgotten. History remembers the visible, not the timid. Every opportunity you want in life requires one thing first, that people notice you exist. So stop hiding, stop shrinking, stop telling yourself that one day people will recognize you if you just work hard silently. No, You must be seen to be chosen. Drop this in the comments to lock it into your psychology. I demand attention. Law 4. Appeal to self-interest, never to mercy. Here's a truth most people don't want to accept. People don't help you because they're kind. They help you because it benefits them. I know that sounds harsh. I know it goes against everything you've been taught about generosity, good intentions, and kindness. But take a moment and look back at your own life. Think about the times when someone truly helped you, really stepped in and made a difference. Was it because they felt pure compassion? Or was it because helping you gave them something? Maybe it made them feel important. Maybe it put them in a good position. Maybe it benefited them socially, emotionally, financially, or strategically. Even if they didn't say it out loud, they got something out of helping you. This is human nature. And geniuses never fight human nature. They use it. Most people make the same mistake over and over again. They appeal to mercy. They try to win sympathy. They explain how desperate they are, how difficult their situation is, how badly they need support. But pity doesn't inspire action. Pity creates distance. Pity makes people avoid you. Machiavelli said, "Wise princes avoid conspirators by not giving anyone reason to harm them and by satisfying the people." In other words, if you want someone to help you, don't guilt them. Give them a reason to want to help you. Here's how geniuses operate. They don't beg. They don't guilt trip. They don't appeal to someone's heart. They appeal to their self-interest. They ask themselves, what does this person want? What is valuable to them? How can helping me benefit them? Then they frame their request around that. Let's break this down. Need someone's time. Show them how helping you saves them time later. Need someone's expertise. Show them how assisting you improves their own project, reputation, or influence. Need access, opportunities, guidance. Make it clear how helping you moves their goals forward. Find the angle. There is always an angle. Because the truth is simple. People don't act based on your needs. They act based on their interests. When you appeal to mercy, people might help you once, but they'll resent it. They'll avoid you next time. They'll label you as a burden. When you appeal to self-interest, people help you gladly. They see you as an asset. They feel smart for choosing to help you. And they want to stay connected because you make their life better, not harder. Stop approaching life with empty hands and hoping for generosity. Start approaching with value in your hand. Shift your mindset from, please help me, to, here's why it benefits you to help me. The moment you do that, everything changes. People start responding. Support becomes easier to find. Doors open because you're no longer asking for charity. You're offering opportunity. Drop this affirmation in the comments. I offer value first. Law 5. Keep others dependent on you. Here's a question that instantly reveals where your power really comes from. Who needs you more than you need them? If the answer is no one, then you're standing on weak ground. Power comes from dependency. Not your dependence on others, but their dependence on you. Most people misunderstand this completely. They talk about independence as if it automatically creates power. But independence alone doesn't give you leverage. Leverage comes from this, being the person others can't move forward without. When someone depends on you, your skill, your knowledge, your presence, your contribution, you instantly gain influence. They can't ignore you. They can't replace you. They can't make major decisions without considering you. That is real power. But most people do the exact opposite. They build lives where they depend on bosses, clients, friends, relationships, systems. They rely on others financially, emotionally, socially. And when the power balance tips, they lose every time. Geniuses don't allow that to happen. They structure their lives around becoming indispensable. Machiavelli wrote, "The best fortress is found in the love of the people." Why? Because when people depend on you, they protect you. They invest in you. They keep you close because losing you would cost them more than keeping you. So ask yourself right now, what do you bring to others that they can't easily replace? If your answer is nothing or something vague, you're vulnerable. Here's how to fix that. 1. Become the go-to person for something valuable. Not 10 things, not everything. One thing. Be a master, not a generalist. 2. Develop knowledge people can't easily duplicate. Specialists hold more power than hobbyists. 3. Build skills that solve real problems. People depend on problem solvers, not talkers. 4. Make yourself essential in your niche. When you become the person who makes everything run smoother, people cling to you, not the other way around. 5. Don't spread yourself too thin. You only become indispensable when you're exceptional in a focused area. Dependency is not manipulation, unless you weaponize it. For you, it's protection. A shield, a power source. The person who is needed is never thrown away. The person who is replaceable always is. So ask yourself today, not tomorrow, what can you build, learn, or strengthen that makes you impossible to replace? Because when people depend on you, your position becomes untouchable. You stop fighting for a seat at the table because you are the reason the table exists. Drop this affirmation in the comments to lock this law into your mindset. I am essential. Law 6. Win through actions, never through argument. Here's something most people don't realize until they've wasted years of their life. Arguing is a trap. Every time you argue, you expose your weakness. You reveal that you're trying to convince someone. And the moment you try to convince someone, you admit, whether you realize it or not, that your results aren't strong enough to speak for themselves. Words are cheap. Arguments are cheaper. And the people who rely on them the most are usually the ones with the fewest accomplishments to back them up. Think about the last time you got into a heated argument. Did you change anyone's mind? Did anyone suddenly say, "You're right, I see it now"? Probably not. Because arguments aren't about truth. They're about ego. Two people battling not to understand each other, but to win, even though no one actually wins. And while you're busy debating, someone else is quietly doing. They're building, they're moving, they're taking action while you're still trying to justify yours. Machiavelli said, "The promise given was a necessity of the past. The word broken is a necessity of the present." Meaning people say whatever they want, whenever they want. But only action forces reality to change. Powerful people don't argue. They don't explain. They don't defend their position like insecure warriors desperate for validation. They prove it. They let results shut everyone up. Here's the truth. Nobody remembers who won the argument, but everyone remembers who got the result. Actions silence critics faster than the best speech ever will. So here's how geniuses play this law. 1. Don't defend, demonstrate. If someone doubts you, don't argue back. Go do the thing they said you couldn't do. 2. Don't waste energy on skeptics. Most people don't want clarity. They want to feel superior. 3. Don't explain your vision. Build it. When the results are real, everyone understands. 4. Let people talk. Words from others cost you nothing. Your actions cost them their opinions. When you focus on action instead of argument, something inside you shifts. You stop caring about being understood. You stop needing support. You stop wasting emotional energy on proving yourself. Instead, you start building, producing, creating. And then something magical happens. The same people who doubted you, the same people who argued with you, the same people who insisted you were wrong, they suddenly fall silent. Or worse for them, they pretend they always believed in you. So remember this. Arguments signal insecurity. Actions signal dominance. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My actions speak louder. Law 7. Always say less than necessary. If Law 6 teaches you the power of action, Law 7 teaches you the power of silence. Every word you speak is a window into your mind. And the more of your mind you reveal, the weaker your position becomes. Most people talk too much. They explain every detail. They reveal every emotion. They share every plan, often with people who don't deserve to hear anything. And in doing so, they give away their power piece by piece. Because the more you say, the more predictable you become. The more predictable you are, the easier you are to manipulate. Silence, however, is a weapon, a shield, a strategy. When you say little, people start imagining. They fill in the blanks. They project depth onto you, depth you may or may not even have. Your silence becomes a mirror that reflects whatever they fear or admire. Machiavelli said, "Everyone sees what you appear to be. Few experience what you really are." Meaning, people judge you based on what you show, not what you explain. Talking too much makes you look insecure, emotional, and reactive. But saying less makes you look controlled, confident, and unreadable. Think about the people you respect the most. Are they the ones who talk endlessly, rambling without purpose? Or are they the ones who choose their words carefully, who speak only when they must? Exactly. Respect flows naturally to the person who doesn't overshare. Here's how powerful people use silence strategically. 1. They don't reveal their plans. Plans should be executed, not explained. 2. They don't justify themselves. If you believe in your moves, you don't need validation. 3. They don't react emotionally. Silence during pressure makes you appear unshakable. 4. They let others talk first. The more people talk, the more information they accidentally reveal. 5. They use short sentences. Short answers imply confidence. Long explanations imply fear. When someone tries to provoke you, silence frustrates them. When someone tries to dig information out of you, silence protects you. When someone expects an emotional reaction, silence disarms them. Mystery is power. Predictability is weakness. You don't owe anyone your thoughts, your plans, your emotions, or your strategies. Silence protects all of them. The less you say, the more powerful you appear. The more you talk, the cheaper your words become. So speak with intention, speak with precision, speak with purpose, and when in doubt, say nothing. Drop this affirmation in the comments. Silence is power. Law 8. Conceal your intentions. Here's the last law, and it's one of the deadliest. If people can predict you, they can stop you. If they know your plans, they can prepare for them. If they see your strategy coming, they can block you before you even move. That's why the moment you make your intentions obvious, you've already lost half the battle. Geniuses understand that power comes from being unreadable, unpredictable, silent on the inside, strategic on the outside. The strongest moves are always the ones nobody sees coming. Think of it like poker. Imagine showing your hand while the game is still going. You might feel honest, you might feel open, but you would lose instantly. Life works the same way. Machiavelli said, "Never attempt to win by force what can be won by deception." He didn't mean lie for no reason. He meant that you gain more power when people don't know what you're really after. Look at the biggest victories in your life, the wins that shocked people, the opportunities that surprised everyone. They came because nobody knew your next move. Now look at the times you announced your plans too early. Maybe you told people you were starting something new. Maybe you shared an idea, a goal, a dream, and you expected support. Instead, people questioned you. They doubted you. They gave you reasons it wouldn't work. They warned you. They talked behind your back. They interfered. Why? Because revealing your intentions creates resistance. The more people know, the more they push against you, intentionally or not. Here's what happens when you conceal your intentions. You move freely. You act without interference. You strike before anyone realizes you're even in the game. Secrecy doesn't make you sneaky. It makes you safe. Confusion protects you. Control comes from invisibility. This doesn't mean you lie to everyone. It means you choose what you reveal with precision. When people ask what you're working on, be vague. When they ask about your plans, give the surface-level answer, not the real one. Let them believe they know your moves. Let them assume they understand you. But keep your true strategy deep inside, protected like a fortress. Here are the principles geniuses follow. 1. Plan privately. Execute publicly. Move in silence until you're unignorable. 2. Share only what benefits you to share. Not everything that's true needs to be said. 3. Let people underestimate you. It's easier to win when they're not watching. 4. Keep your long-term moves hidden. Your vision is yours, not theirs. 5. Reveal only after you've already positioned yourself to win. When you conceal your intentions, you become unpredictable. And in the world of power, unpredictability is dangerous in the best possible way. Nobody can sabotage a plan they don't know exists. Nobody can block a move they can't see coming. Nobody can weaken a strategy that lives entirely inside your mind. Drop this affirmation in the comments. My mind stays hidden. The final chapter, the hidden reality of power. So here they are, the 8 darkest laws geniuses use to outsmart everyone. And now comes the part most people ignore. These laws are not comfortable. They don't feel warm or gentle. They don't fit the be nice and good things will happen fantasy the world tries to sell you. But that fantasy never matched reality. Power is psychological, not physical. It's not about being the strongest. It's not about being the loudest. It's about understanding how people think, how they react, how they move, and how they reveal themselves. Most people wander through life blind. Blind to the tactics others use. Blind to the invisible rules driving human behavior. Blind to the game being played around them every day. You've probably felt it. You've probably said to yourself, why did they get the position? Why did that person succeed before me? Why does it feel like I'm always one step behind? Now you know the truth, because they were playing a different game, a game you were never taught, a game most people don't even know exists. Those who know the rules control the game. Those who don't become the pieces being moved. You've now seen behind the curtain. You've learned the laws. You understand the strategies. The question is, what will you do with them? You can pretend you didn't hear any of this. You can go back to hoping the world rewards effort alone. You can keep believing that kindness, fairness, and good intentions automatically lead to success. Or you can play strategically. You can move with purpose. You can apply these laws not to harm others, not to be cruel, but to protect your power, your future, your life. Because here's the truth very few will admit. Good people lose when they're unprepared. Strategic people win because they understand the rules, and you now understand them. But knowledge without action means nothing. Information without execution changes nothing. Awareness without behavior is wasted potential. So here's what you do next. Don't try to master all 8 laws at once. Pick one. Apply it. Watch how your relationships shift. Watch how people respond differently. Watch how your confidence grows simply because you stopped operating blindly. You're no longer powerless. You're no longer predictable. You're no longer playing the game without knowing the rules. You have the advantage now. If this video opened your eyes, share it. If it shifted something inside you, don't ignore that feeling. And if you're ready to go deeper, subscribe, because this is only the beginning. The world belongs to those who understand how it really works. Not the ones who hope, but the ones who act. Drop this final affirmation in the comments. I play by my own rules.